Hello everyone, my name is Dan Fleischman and I'm going to be going over different strategies on how to acquire clients in a real world perspective. So there's a lot of simple ways. I'm going to start with the beginner strategy, intermediate, and then get into a bonus advanced strategy. So the first thing is sliding into the DMs. You find different Instagram accounts that are companies that are relatable to you or that you know you'd be a good benefit to, and you physically go into their messages, direct message them, or email them. Almost all profiles will have that in their bio. And a lot of times you can just target people that are in a niche that you like. So if you want to go after doctor's offices today, and on Tuesday you go after restaurants, and on Wednesday you go after massage therapists, and on Thursday you go after lawyers, a lot of times you can just dedicate a few hours or a full day into going after a target. If you're going to go after a local market, like you want to go do face-to-face meetings for local businesses, you're only going to really need about an hour per demographic or per niche market, because there's not going to be 6,000 different lawyers you're going to go after in a certain space, in a certain town. There's not going to be 1,700 tanning salons. There's probably going to be about 50 or 60, and really only about 5 or 6 guys that own most of the small chains there. So if you know there's a local tanning salon or a local lawyer or a local restaurant chain that you want to go after, go to their social media accounts, direct message them there, and then a lot of times they're going to have their email address right in their bio. And same thing, if you have to and you can't see it there, Google them and you're going to find it. If you can't find it, there's 2 things to that. One, that's why they need you, because they need somebody to help them with their social media and they need help with their bio, and there should be contact information there. Or 2, just move on. There's so many other clients to go after. There's going to be tens of thousands of restaurants to choose from. If there's 50 or 60 tanning salons, again, you're only going to really pick 1 or 2. You're not going to take on all the tanning salons because it'd be hard for you to do social media agency marketing for them all in the same local community. So you're really going to pick 1 per niche. That's usually the best way to do it. A lot of times you can make a planogram and really decide, okay, I'm going to get 1 client for every category. 1 clothing store, 1 restaurant, 1 lawyer, 1 doctor, etc. And pick out the categories, or you're going to become an expert in 1 thing. Let's say, let's call it real estate. And you're going to go after 1 person that does short sales, 1 person that's a luxury real estate person, 1 person that does foreclosures, 1 person that's a loan officer, and just try to get 5 or 6 clients that represent everything within a niche like real estate of the different categories. So you've gone to their profiles, you've direct messaged them, you've emailed them. The thing that you want to contact them about, you have to actually have like a little 1-pager about you or your company or your agency. Even if it's just you and you're a 1-man band, you still have to be presentable as if you're a real company. So you need to make a 1-pager. Usually just do it as a PDF and an about.me type site where it's just a 1-pager about you, or a WordPress.com 1-page website, so that you look presentable. You look like a real company. You're not just, how do I say it? You're not just some 19-year-old kid that has an idea and hasn't actually put in the effort to make a website, make an email address, make a corporation. Like, be a real thing, because you're actually going to pay you real money. So you don't want to go there pitching them when you're not real and you're not fully set up. And it's very inexpensive, if not free, to get set up and look like a true company or a true agency to your prospective clients. So send them the 1-pager PDF about you and 1 paragraph. Don't make some like long 2-page big speech to them in your email. Keep it very short and sweet, what you can do and how you're going to help them. Say, hey, I have a dozen clients in the area. I have room for 2 more spots. I'm willing to help you. Per month, I charge $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month, whatever it is, that rate. Or if you don't want to say the rate yet, some people like to have a set rate and just be right up front because it kind of weeds out the responses. If you leave it open-ended, sometimes you just will get too many responses, and other times, and the times that they respond, they may not be ready to pay you if you charge $3 or $4 or $5 grand a month and you're too expensive for them. You might want to weed that out. If you're only charging $9.95 a month, like $1,000 a month, almost all businesses can afford that. So it's really important for you to be clear with what you want and what you can do. So if you already have some clients, or you're an expert in the real estate field, or you're expert at something within the social media agency space, be that and be clear about that, because you really only want to send 1 clear paragraph about what you're offering. So you say, hi, my name is Dan. I run a social media agency here in Wichita, Kansas. I charge $1,000 a month. I'm only going to take on 10 clients. I have 7 currently. It's good to say things that are true and open with them while you're still small. Obviously, once you become 3 employees, 4 employees, 5 employees, you don't have to break it down as much. And you may even have sales reps that are pitching for you. But in the beginning, when you have your first few clients, or maybe it's your first client, be open about who you are and what you are. Because you don't want to fabricate and you don't want to say you're some huge agency and then the truth comes out. It's much more important and effective for you to be long-term, because this is a career, and this is something you can do for many years. Social media is not going anywhere. It keeps getting bigger and bigger, and there's not enough people like you guys that are willing to take the action and actually go do it. So do it properly, do it honestly, do it correctly, and the results will come, because you can get one restaurant and they recommend to their friends, and all of a sudden you have 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 clients paying you a couple grand a month. That's real money. It adds up really quickly. And it's a very manageable business, because most of what you're offering and most of what you're doing really only takes under an hour a day. So, and a lot of times you can do it in 5 to 10 minutes once you get good at it. So it's not like you can't manage this and still have your other career or your other job or your other things that are going on in your life, or make this really full time and bring on a bunch of clients. Okay, so I'm going to go a little more advanced strategy, or more like the intermediate strategy. You can actually go to a strip mall, or go to a high rise, or go to a condensed location of businesses and pitch them. And you literally, that same exact one pager, you print it out and you have your business card attached, or you just put it as the base of that one page flyer. And again, that one page flyer is who you are, what your agency name is, what you're offering. I'll do 30 posts a month for your business. I'm the expert in this space in social media. I'll help you set, if you don't have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or Snapchat, I'll help you set those up for you and manage them, and I'll help you with the content. That's it. That one pager says who you are, what you do, what you can do for them, and how you can relieve their lives, plus gain them new clients by making them cool. So if you have targets, like you want to get a certain tanning salon, or you want a certain lawyer, well, obviously you can send it to them or go visit them in person or set up an appointment to go visit them. Otherwise, you can physically go door to door. And it sounds crazy, but this is one of the things that I did over the years, was I trained teams on how to go door to door in a respectable manner. And all it is you go to a strip mall, or you go to a busy street in downtown of your city, which is usually where all the restaurants and bars are, if that's the kind of businesses you want, and you show up and you have your 25 sheets, and you're going to make sure you go see 25 locations that day. And it usually only takes a couple hours. You walk into the space, walk into the tanning salon, you're always going to be dealing with a secretary, or sometimes we call them a gatekeeper. That's the person you need to like you. So that's not a person you just want to blow off and just say, hey, I need to talk to the CEO and look past them. You need them to be your friend and to be cool with them, because they're the ones that kind of emotionally tell their boss whether they like you or not, or you have a good vibe, or they just throw your piece of paper in the trash can. They never even hear about it. So you want that first interaction with that person that's the gatekeeper to be positive. I don't care if you bring in a lollipop with you, or a Snickers bar, or a cupcake, and you're there to talk to them, but you need them on your side, because they're the ones that can really talk with the boss for you. So when you walk into a location, keep it very short and sweet. Who you are, what you do as your social media agency, and how you can help the business. And a lot of the times, those gatekeepers, or if it's the owner themselves, they feel a sense of relief or excitement that somebody's going to finally make them cool. Somebody's going to finally take over something that they don't fully understand. If they already have somebody, or they're already doing it, you just walk to the next place. There's no harm, no foul. You met somebody new for 2 minutes and you left. The process of you not doing that is silly, because of how little time it takes. Or getting somebody fresh out of college or in college, have them going out and doing this for you, and they go door to door if this isn't what's comfortable for you, and they go pitch $1,000 a month type clients, and you pay them $100 a month or $200 a month for each one they close. They can end up making a lot of money if they close even 1 or 2 a week, and they're making an extra $100 a month by doing that. Once they get 20, 30 clients, now they have some recurring revenue. Or you can pay them a flat fee. Let's say it's $1,000 a month. You pay them a flat $500, and you don't pay them a recurring revenue. But that's a great commission for them, because they make $500 every close that they get. there's no overhead to you. It's a free roll to you. So whether you pay them 200, 300, 400, 500, it doesn't matter because there's no physical cost to do the social media agency that you're doing. It's all done from a mobile phone, from your bed, from your couch. So having somebody go out and get the clients for you, if that's not something you're comfortable for, is a perfectly fine intermediate strategy, but you have to have the initial setup first. You need to give them the tools to go out there and sell for you. And then it becomes very replicatable if you can handle what you're selling. You do not want to have 8 sales reps from college and you get like a whole frat house, and you get 8 guys from the frat house to be your sales team, and they go close 56 accounts, and they start bringing you $1,000, $2,000 a month clients, and you're paying out all these commissions, but you can't manage 56. Well, that's very important that it's very real, that you keep it realistic of what you can manage, and scale up. Every time you get X amount of clients, know you need to hire somebody to manage those 3, 4, or 5 clients. Because if you have 4 or 5 grand a month coming in, you can pay somebody 1 or 2K a month to manage X amount of clients for you. So I'll take a step back to walking into the location. You've walked in, you brought your one pager, you've introduced yourself. You're just there to try to set up a meeting if they're not already there, if the owner or manager is not there. You're just there to try to set up a meeting, and you want to make the meeting within a few days, or the next day if you can, or if they're going to be back that day, come back that day. The goal is to see 20 to 25 locations in a day. When I was training sales reps, I always tell them it's a 20 location minimum per day, because going to see the 20 locations only takes a couple hours. Then it's a 4 appointment minimum. So if you go see 20 locations, you've got to be able to at least book 4 appointments. Then out of those 4 appointments that you book, you got to close at least 1. When I break it down that way, it sounds much more realistic, right? You're seeing 20 places, and I'm only asking you to close 1 account. But you're seeing 20 locations in a day, or you're having that college kid go out and see 20 locations a day for you. 20 locations a day is 100 locations in a week, which is 400 locations in a month. If you see 400 locations in a month, that's 4,800 locations in a year. So it sounded so simple, just going to visit 20 locations a day, but that adds up to 4,800 locations in the year. And think about that. If you went out and pitched thousands and thousands of places, think about how many clients you could really close. So if you go out there and you don't close accounts, it's your fault. At this point, there's just infinite amount of clients out there in every single niche that don't have the social media help that they need. If you make it affordable in that $1,000 to $3,000 range, it's really hard for them to turn you down, especially that 1K to 2K range. It's really hard for them to turn you down because they need it. And as long as you do a good job, they won't leave you. That's very important. You don't want to just close a client just to close a client. You need to perform and do well, because it's way more important to keep somebody paying you $1,000 a month for the next 2 years than it is to close them for $1,000 up front and then they fire you in 6 weeks. You see what I'm saying? It's very important that what you're going out and pitching, that you watch everything on this course and really understand and learn what you're going to provide, and then provide that and provide extra if you can, because there's nobody better to refer you to another client than the client that you close that's paying you $1,000 or $2,000 a month already. So you're in the store, you've pitched them, you made an appointment. At your appointment, you want to keep it really straightforward. You do not need to have a 1 hour and 2 hour meeting. You need to be there for 10 or 20 minutes. You come in, you show them what's wrong with their social media, and you don't even tell them that you're coming there to show them what's wrong, but you have to do it politely. Because the way I explain it is, nobody will ever want to hear that they have an ugly baby, okay? If you go in and tell somebody that their baby's ugly, they're going to be mad at you. So if you go there and tell them that their social media is ugly, they're offended because that's them. You're insulting their brand. However, there is a very clear way to do it, is to calmly and politely show them how they can do it better, okay? Each aspect of it, you show them what's wrong with their bio, you show them what's wrong with their content that they're posting, show them what's wrong with their profile, you show them if their names aren't the same on every single platform, which it should be. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, all their screen names should be identical. All their bios should be identical, whether it's Google+, whatever else they're doing. Instagram's the main thing that people need help with, but you still have to set them up on the other platforms. So you're kind of doing an overview for them, an audit, if you will, of their current social media, and you can show them what they're doing wrong. Look, you never used a hashtag. Or look, you used 30 hashtags and this looks horrible. Or look, you posted political content when you shouldn't post anything about politics at your restaurant. Oh, look, you posted this really sexy image or an image of somebody smoking or doing some kind of drugs. You show them what's wrong with what they're doing, but you do it in a polite manner of how you can make it better, not just slapping them on the wrist, but showing them how you understand what they need. You can take that away from them so they don't have to do the work, and you'll do it for an affordable rate of 1K, 2K, 3K a month. Listen, there's some clients you can charge 5 or 10K, but that 1K, 2K is really the sweet spot where it's hard for them to say no. And 3K a month is what a lot of people go for, but 1K, 2K is really where you can just kind of lock them in. It's not some big and cumbersome bill, and if they only have 1 or 2 locations, it's very easy for you to manage really for 10 minutes to an hour in a day. It's not that intense when you're just doing the restaurants, bar, chiropractor, tanning salon types. When you start to manage a brand, then you can start charging 3K, 5K, 10K, etc. So you're with the manager, you're with their owner, you've explained them what you do, you explain to them what's wrong with their social media accounts and how you can improve it. You do it politely. And then go straight for the close. Don't make this a 1-hour meeting. Keep it very short because a lot of times they know before the appointment whether they're going to hire you or not. And you're going to know whether they're really, really stubborn. They just think they're good at it, their social media, even if they're only getting 4 likes a photo and their social media sucks. You'll know if they're too stubborn to even try. Don't keep pushing that one. You don't want to have a bad client, okay? Just because you could close them, if you keep fighting them, you keep fighting them, you keep fighting them, they're going to be a headache later. And again, don't be short-sighted about getting that $1,000 or $2,000 now, because it's more important to have a long-term client. If they just don't get it or they're fighting you too much, just walk out. Just be polite. You gave them your speech, and then you say, okay, well, I'll just follow up with you next week, and don't bother anymore, because you don't want that person as your client. It's really important. I promise you, you do not want bad clients, especially with social media, because it's too personal. You've got their passwords, you've got their direct messages, like you're in their world. They have to really trust you, and if they're a headache at the beginning, they're going to be a bigger headache later. So just pick and choose your clients. Again, there's so many clients for you to get. You get to be picky. You get to go out and walk into a strip mall and just choose, I like that restaurant, but I don't want to go to that restaurant because it's too seedy, or that bar is nasty and I don't want to do that. You don't have to go do the bar you don't like. You don't have to represent. If you don't like nightclubs and you don't believe in drinking, don't represent nightclubs. Only represent the local churches. Go represent the local bookstore. Whatever it is that you like, that's what's great about social media is everybody in every business needs it. So just pick and choose the things that you like, and there's an endless amount of clients. All right, the last bonus advanced strategy, it's too easy for you to build up a small team and really grow this. So the same concept of going and hiring college kids and paying them on commission or paying them a small hourly plus commission, you're going to be able to do that in a lot of different cities, but you really want to start in your city. Once you build up in your city, and you can really just pick one local area, it's going to take you a lot of time just to go through 7 or 8 high-rise buildings, because those buildings, it'll blow your mind how many offices are inside. So the way to really make yourself the expert so that people start coming to you is getting those first clients, whether you even do a couple for free or cheaper or discounted, getting those first clients, because it's always like the thing I say is you have to have a credit card to get a credit card. You have to be a lawyer to get a good lawyer's job. If you go out and you have X amount of clients, it removes the risk factor. It makes them feel more comfortable. I used to sell my energy drinks in 55,000 retail stores. When I first started, I would go and meet with the local store, and I'd say, hey, I'm meeting with Budweiser later today, and I have a 1 o'clock at 7-Eleven, so I just got to make sure I can leave here by 11. So I just led them and explained to them, I'm meeting with this big distributor, this big retailer, so now they feel more comfortable because I'm selling to other people, or I'm working with other people that are similar to them or bigger than them. If you already have X amount of clients in the area, or you're already the expert, or you have a once-a-month event, which I'll go on to next, a once-a-month event about how to be a social media influencer in your town, that just gives you that edification that you need to remove them from being nervous about paying you money and giving you passwords. It's very lopsided. They're giving you money and they're giving you their passwords, and you have no risk. Only risk you have is how much work you're going to do, and that's optional to you. So you have to do all of this, understanding how big of an advantage you have in the scenario. You get to pick your clients, you get to pick your rates, you get to pick how much time you put into it, and you get to pick whether you do it or have an intern do it for you or a staff member. So the last tip is about doing a once-a-month event. You can find a local restaurant, a local bar, or a local art gallery, a local photo studio, somewhere cool in your town, and kind of become the guru, or at least the local guru in your town for social media. The way you do that is you make an events.com, eventbrite.com, meetup.com, you place your time, 8 p.m., Thursday night, pick an off night, don't do weekends, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Usually when a restaurant or bar is slow or art gallery is slow, they're happy to have you there because you're just bringing in humans into their building. So let's call it Monday night, 8 p.m., and you make this invitation only, or you publicize it and you can charge $0 to $50. Most people charge $0 to $20, and you just have this social media event. That event doesn't cost you much money, if any money at all, besides food and beverage, and most of the time you can just have some free food and they can pay for their own beverages at first unless you're charging. If you're charging, then you want to obviously pay for everything. At this event, and this can also be at a ballroom or a local school, it really doesn't matter. All you need is a space. It could be at a mansion, it could be at, like I said, a nightclub, restaurant, wherever it is. You pick the location, you pick the time, the venue owner, you don't want to pay for the venue if you don't have to because there's too many free venues. And you say, okay, Monday at 8, everybody that's in the social media space, we're going to have a networking event. Well, what happens is all the people that are coming to the social media networking event look to you as their leader or as their guru or as the person they look up to because it's your event. So you've already edified yourself because you control the door, you control the guest list, you control how much it costs, you control when the event is, and you look cool. You look like the guy or the girl. So that's exactly what you want, because if 66 people show up to your Monday night at 8 o'clock at the local restaurant and they spend 2 hours there and you do a 10 to 15 minute talk or you do no talk and it's just a networking event and you're just introducing yourself to everybody and building a community, the next month, that Monday at 8 p.m., it's not going to be 66 people, it's going to be 104 people, and all that time during that month, you're going to get all these referrals. You're going to get handed so many referrals because you're the guy. You're the expert. If you're in Wichita, Kansas, and you're the only one throwing a social media event, or even if you're not the only one, it's just cool. You're taking action to do something that costs you little to no money to put on, but it makes you the cool guy, that makes you the expert, it makes you edified, and it makes them want to give you the business. So that's my extra bonus tip is become the person in your space. If you live in a big town, or if you're in like Las Vegas or Los Angeles or Miami, and you have a bunch of competitors, you can still do the exact same thing I'm talking about, but now you're going after and getting bigger and bigger fish to come, and you're going to get bigger and bigger clients, and the budgets are much bigger in those big pond towns. Most of you guys are going to be in little pond towns just because there's only a dozen big cities and all the rest of them are small towns. In those small towns, you become the big fish and everybody will come to you.